guys with a class of rock and country music facts and trivia. Thank you for being here. It's getting closer to Halloween, so you're going to get some of these this week. The Dolly Parton recalls a haunted experience from her early days in Nashville. She said, "We heard footsteps and the water turning on." For a while, many decades ago, Dolly Parton and her husband let her best friend Judy and some of Dolly's other siblings live with them. But eventually, Parton and her husband Carl Dean were left alone in the house when everyone else traveled back home to Dolly's hometown in East Tennessee. And in her book, Dolly, My Life and Other Unfinished Business, she recalled hearing a bump in the night, so to speak, that woke her up, but she figured it was just Judy and her siblings had come back early. One night, we locked the doors and the windows, as we routinely did when living in the city, and went off to bed. We soon began to hear noises in the kitchen. We heard the familiar sounds of the cabinets opening and water running. We weren't too disturbed because we knew Judy had a key. When we heard footsteps up the stairs and water turning on in the bathroom, I said, "Carl, I guess Judy and the kids have come back early," and I rolled over to sleep. In the early hours of the morning, Dolly got up to use the bathroom and the hot water cut on all by itself. And of course, Dolly screamed in horror. She knew something weird was up. And of course, Carl came running in to see what was wrong. In the wee hours of the morning, I got up to wee-wee. Just as I entered the bathroom, the hot water came on full force all by itself. I screamed in horror, and Carl come running. Now, that was a hard faucet to turn on anyway, and it always took a while for that water to heat up. I was scared. Dolly said her husband still thought it was Judy, though they quickly realized that they were still in the home alone and convinced themselves it was the neighbors or rats or built-up water pressure in the pipes or whatever. They never figured out what exactly it was, though not long after this occurred, Dolly's Aunt Dorothy Jo had a similar scary story. Dolly's grandmother, Rena, who was Dorothy's mom, had passed away not long before that, and Dorothy told Dolly she believed her mom had visited her. Dolly said she felt her willies come back 100-fold. As her aunt explained, she found the kitchen window wide open the next morning. Very soon after that night, my Aunt Dorothy Jo told me something odd. She said, "I believe that Mama visited me last night." Her mother, my grandma Rena, had recently passed away, at least her earthly self had. Aunt Dorothy Jo explained, "I felt Mama's presence real strong standing by my bed. Then my willies came back 100-fold," as she went on to say, "This morning I found the kitchen window open." Sounds like they could have really used a modern-day security system with cameras to be able to really get to the bottom of it. Dolly was really convinced that they had experienced something paranormal, and obviously the experience never left her. I still don't know what happened, but it makes me feel that much more certain that there were spirits and angels with us. I'll leave it to you to figure it out. In some ways, it had to be somewhat comforting that they believed that it was her grandmother, though, although the hot water and the false thing would have been enough for me to consider moving out, I think. Yeah, I would have moved out if I could afford it. Actually, I lived in my family house had a, I don't know if you want to say ghost or spirit in it. It was pretty freaky. We was all in the basement. There's a party, and we heard someone come in the back door and open and close, and the footsteps and stuff, and they heard pots and pans banging. Some brother-in-law went up to see who it was, and there was no one there. And that's where I slept at night, was in the basement. And every now and then, pots and pans banging, footsteps, and the whole spiel. I used to really love this time of year. I like it a lot, still do, but it was really special back in the day. Anyway, hope you got a little giggle out of this. Please subscribe if you haven't already yet. Please like this video. I'd appreciate it. You have a great day. God bless you. Praying for you.